Dear friends, Ukrainian Pacifist Movement congratulates you with the International Conscientious Objectors Day. We celebrate this day in Ukraine too, and it gives us a hope that once no man will dare to kill somebody and there will be no war forever. We are moved and grateful to all war resistors in the world protesting against bloodshed in Ukraine, showing solidarity with conscientious objectors to military service in our country, as well as conscientious objectors and deserters in Russia and Belarus. These countries, as unwell as Ukraine, are poisoned by militarism, haunting people from the birth to their death in forms of military patriotic upbringing, propaganda of war, military registration, conscription, various forms of official and informal punishment and bullying of evaders from military service. This Moloch of war, this war machine, allowed autocrats, demagogues, and war profiteers to mobilize populations for pointless and senseless mass killing, for their personal gain, and for perish of peace and welfare in Europe and in the world. Some brave citizens, here and there, are openly challenge militarism, but mostly people resort to passive resistance. After years of repressions and implantation of violent ideologies, new fragile sprouts of the peace movement need special care. Those who refuse to kill need to feel they are not alone. They have a hope and they have a future. Conscientious objection to military service is a first necessary step towards creation of nonviolent society, and we should foresee and explain to the people the next steps after this commitment, as well as possible consequences of indulgence to delusions of good war and justified violence. How can they say that peace belongs only to the most powerful and wealthy, to those who can protect themselves by killing others? Do they ever think what a difference between peace and war, between right and wrong, and what would prevent us from risks of nuclear apocalypse as final suicide in fear to lose some sort of absolute power? The absolute power, which was a bad fiction from the beginning, which nobody in reality can have, which no good person or nation should ever ask. Peace is not a war without end. It is a wonderful dynamics of life, free from violence. It is tradition free from repeating tragic mistakes. It is democracy free from angry mobs. And it is economy free from stealing life and happiness of others. All of this is coming in our life with gradual transformation of the dominant culture of war and violence into a developing culture of peace and nonviolence. Perhaps it is not quite a nonviolent revolution, the dream of many war resistors, and I grant that there are not only moves forward, but obvious backlashes too. Maybe today the war machine went out of control, but have no doubts that people can and should stop it. Many people now can live more peacefully than in the past, but still drift between archaic culture of war and progressive culture of peace. This makes more valuable a work of those who understand clearly that peace will not be established spontaneously, that peace is a product of good choices and lot of well-organized efforts, that peace is based on refusal to kill, and that peace is not utopia, because it is evidence-based, embodied by effective and realistic models. Many people successfully lived and continue to live good without violence, allowing no power to compromise their principles, no matter how great such power considers itself. Exercise of human right to conscientious objection is living proof that no power can be absolute, that militarist dystopia have nothing to do with reality, that people know about fraudulence of promised miracles of violence and will not tolerate it. Let's remember, this conscientious objectors commemorative stone in Tavistock Square, dedicated to all those who have established and are maintaining the right to refuse to kill, is a cornerstone of better future for all humankind. It is a cornerstone for non-violent and happy life of all people on earth. Once all humans will learn how to be courageous and wise enough to do no harms to ourselves, others, and nature. We should learn and teach practical ways of non-violent life, and we should refuse to kill, because war is a crime against humanity, and therefore we should not support any kind of war, and we should strive for the removal of all causes of war.